Covid-19 pandemic has turned the fashion world on its head, with designers across the board unsure of what comes next. Runway shows have been suspended, and so too have fashion prizes. 30-year-old Flore Girard de Langlade was a winner of this year's Open My Med prize, the brainchild of the Maison Mode Méditerranée, an incubator based in Marseille that offers advice to young labels. Just as Flore was beginning to get her label established, the virus struck.
I was really in the process of developing prototypes. I was doing mock-ups. I was looking for producers and suppliers. And then, all of a sudden, I found myself in lockdown with my parents thinking, damn, I've got an amazingly well-equipped studio, I've got supplies, I've got everything I need. So I got hold of some lengths of denim from a factory in Marseille called Sugar. They've closed production, and they gave me dozens of meters of denim, which they'd had in storage for years. So I washed it all, and I set to work. We can't afford to be wasteful. Recycling can't just remain an abstract idea right now. We need to be aware of what's happening around us, the impact we have on our environment.
This year saw the launch of the Open My Med prize in Africa, and in Dakar, Senegal, stylist Romzy came out on top. The pandemic arrived just as he was on the verge of launching his first ready-to-wear women's collection, a response to the growing demand for women's fashion designed and made on the continent.
I'm working on some embroidery with sequins. I work with each pearl individually. I embroider each sequin one by one. I'm actually covering this whole motif with these pearls and a whole range of adornments. A lot of what I do is embroidered by hand. I use a whole range of techniques. Techniques from here, but also Western techniques. Here, I'm working on a new collection, and also on mock-ups for ready-to-wear pieces that, in theory at least, will be put on sale online as soon as things start returning to normal. This period gives us time to reassess our art, I think. Art can have an impact in today's world, just as it will have an impact on future generations. With all these deaths, we realise we're all only hanging on to life by a thread. So what are we leaving behind? What's our story? Will our names be associated with things that are important? Will our art be seen as significant? I don't think this crisis is about fatalism. I really think that this is a period we can learn from.
But not all prize winners are coping so well. Enter Californian designer and St. Martin's graduate Quoï Alexander. In his Paris workshop, he spends his time grappling with technical challenges. His clothes are assembled without sewing.
This is a technique that I've developed. I call it plissé-tissé, or pleated weave in English. It's a mix of different bands of recycled materials. It takes time, but the effect is very interesting. And I can combine it with a wide range of fabrics.
Each dress takes around 200 hours to make. Luxury items people simply aren't buying the way they used to. Alexander is on the verge of bankruptcy.
After the last Fashion Week, all my commissions were cancelled, and I quickly realised that I wouldn't have enough money to carry on. I'm actually teaching English online right now to children in China. I'm doing it to earn some money. So, yeah, I'm really not sure about my future in the world of fashion.
Ali Rakib was a social worker who then went on to manage football careers before dropping it all to scour the world for rare textiles he could sell on to luxury labels. He now works at the Maison Mode Méditerranée, advising young designers. He says he's never had to contend with anything like the current situation.
My main client is one of the 5 largest luxury goods houses. After a restructuring of its sustainable development business and the arrival of Covid-19, which means I can no longer travel to source materials, I've lost around 80% of my turnover. But at the same time, there are some who say it's just part of what we do. It's not always going to be easy. You can't predict that your job will be secure over the years to come. Sometimes you just need to say to yourself, we're living through something cataclysmic, and we simply can't be looking 2-3 years ahead right now. Now we need to be thinking about the short term because we don't know what the future holds, and it's changing constantly.
How the world of fashion will bounce back from the ravages of the current crisis has no easy answers, but creativity and patience seem to be a good place to start.
We'll take you to Cameroon, South Africa, Kenya, Tunisia and here in Madagascar to have a closer look at how Africa is trying to cope with the Covid-19 pandemic.
Watch events unfold on France 24 and France24.com.